Hi there, and welcome to HayleySummers.com, a site for women for when life's just not quite going to plan. Now, last week I talked to you about Brené Brown's book, Daring Greatly, and a particular part of that book that talked about the people in our lives who we perceive to be our critics. But actually, these people are often the people who are most supportive of us. And I talked a bit about the kind of conflict we can get into when we think we're being criticised or we think we're being looked down on or judged, and actually these people are there supporting us, and how maybe we can be a bit more appreciative towards the people in our lives that are really there for us. Now, what I want to do this week is I want to talk about a step before that, and it's the step that I like to call preparing for battle. So this is before you've got involved with any discussions with anyone else, and it's when you're preempting what people are going to think. So what it is, it's before you get in front of people and start talking to them about this thing. It's the things that go through your head and the things that you start believing about what they're going to think. And why I call it preparing for battle is because that's exactly what it is like on a mental level, but also on a physical level. So what happens is you assume that you're going to get some kind of resentment or criticism or judgment, and you start preparing for that. So you start mentally thinking of excuses and reasoning and other things you might need to protect yourself, but you also physically prepare. So you're probably in quite a state of stress when you're thinking about how these conversations are going to go. So your hormone levels are up, your cortisol's up, your adrenaline's up, because you're preparing to go and fight. And that's obviously quite a stressful place to be in. And what I've come to realise is that a lot of the time it's really, really not necessary. And this happened to me recently. I took the decision to take on some work at a cafe. Those of you who know me will know that my background before I was a coach was in the catering industry. And I gave that up over a year ago now to start my coaching business. And when I gave up the job, I did take about 9 to 10 months out, I think, to train and prepare and set up the business. And that was 9 to 10 months without an income. So obviously you can imagine that going that period without an income and now becoming a small business owner, finances are sometimes a bit irregular. So I thought for a while about taking on a job, but I thought about, should I do some consulting? Can I take on some project work? And actually what I came to is I need something quite responsibility free, something that's going to be quite easy for me to do, but not like a management job that I used to do, because I need to be able to leave that job at home and come home and then run my business. So I looked at some bar jobs and some cafe jobs, and I really wasn't finding something that was good enough to pull me away from the coaching job that I love. And then an opportunity came up, and it was to do some waitressing and some board game teaching in a new board game cafe that's opening in London. Now, I absolutely adore board games. I'm a bit of a whiz as a waitress, and the guys running the project are awesome, and they're really, really pro, like all working together to develop the project and to hear each other's ideas. And I just thought, what an amazing opportunity. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So I went for the interview, I got the job, I took the job, and I'm actually starting next week. But after I took the job, I began to prepare for battle, because I began to tell myself, well, everyone's going to think this is a cop-out. Everyone's going to think that I'm doing this because business isn't working, or because I'm selling out, or they're going to say that I should be spending all my time on my business, or they're going to think that I've taken a job that's beneath me, or they're going to judge me for that. And all these negative beliefs started going through my head. So I started preparing for battle. And a lot of that was some of the things I've just told you, some of the kind of, I tell myself justifications, but maybe excuses. Why I've taken this job, why it's okay, why it's only temporary, and the coaching business is still going really well. And I started preparing this kind of defence almost, as if I was a lawyer. in preparation for when I told my first friend and they went, "Oh, that's ridiculous, I can't believe you're doing this." So I prepared for battle, and I checked probably 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't really tell anyone about the job, but I just began to kind of rationalise it and be okay with it. And then I told my first friend, and the response was, "Wow, that's awesome. You love board games. What a great job. Can we come and play board games whilst you're working? Oh, awesome. Are we going to get a discount?" Nothing at all, nothing bad. And then I told another friend, and yeah, even more overwhelming response. She was like, "Oh my God, this is the perfect job for you. I can't believe how well this has worked out. I'm so pleased for you, Hayley. Awesome, awesome, awesome." And so it continued. And that's when I realised I'd spent so much time and energy and physical energy, because you put quite a lot into this when you're doing it, and you might not realise, but elevating those hormones and preparing for battle is a really, really energy and time consuming process. And I'd done all this for absolutely no reason. Because what I'd done is I'd taken all my limiting beliefs, and you've probably heard me talk about limiting beliefs before, but these are kind of the things that go on in your own head that limit your actions. So all the things that go around in my head going, "Oh, should you be taking this job? Should you be focusing on your coaching?" All my doubts. And I projected those onto my friends and family. And I'd kind of said, well, they're going to think the same, because I'm questioning this maybe, so they're gonna question it as well. And actually, the battle that maybe I've been preparing for, or I should be preparing for, is the one with me. Because actually, my friends are very supportive. They're awesome. They want me to do well. They're over the moon for me. But it's me that's carrying these doubts. It's me that's thinking, should I be doing this? So what I want you to think about this week is I want you to think about where you're preparing for battles that aren't going to happen. Where are you preparing defence, excuses that you're just not going to need? Who do you think you're preparing them for? And then ask yourself, what battle's going on in your own head that you're maybe subconsciously preparing for? Who are you actually trying to justify this to? Because it's probably yourself. I would love to hear how you get on. And I would love to hear if you have a situation where you recognise early that you're preparing for battle. Because often you're not going to be able to stop these things completely. But if you can really quickly recognise your triggers and say, wait a minute, I'm preparing for a battle here. What's really going on? What can I do instead? Then that would be a really, really awesome result. So I would love to hear. As I always say, post on the blog, tweet, Facebook, email, whatever you want to do, just get in touch, because I would love to hear from you. And if there's any themes we talked about today that you'd like me to continue, there was a bit of a running theme from last week, I can continue with some themes. Or if you've got any completely new themes that you would love me to talk about, then please, please, please just let me know as well. Thanks ever so much for listening. Have a great week, and I will see you with another new video on Thursday. Bye for now.